Okay, thank you. Hello, June. My name is Aaron
Hi.
Navarro from Mexico City. It's a pleasure to talk to you about this cute film, which is Eleanor the Great. And I wanted to ask you from the beginning. I know this is the first long feature directed by Scarlett Johansson. So tell me a little bit about how does she got to you and what it was to work with her with his first feature long.
Well, I actually got the script about 3 or 4 years before we shot it. And the script was given to me by the producers through my agent. And I wanted to do it immediately. I read it and I felt this I really want to do. So I was on the film. And then things started falling apart with this initial group. And so they then said that they still wanted me to do it, and then they got Scarlett in. So she was given my name, and I was told, she said, "Oh, yes, I want to do it with her." And we had a Zoom call, she and I felt, oh my God, she's so honest. She's so down to earth. This is great. I love this. So we both came into it, I think, very positively about the other one.
And also, one of the things I love of the film is how it approaches loneliness and how do we need that approach and to have friends, to have somebody near us to face up the loneliness that we have sometimes have. So tell me a little bit about that because I think that's lovely.
It is lovely. And I think her loneliness is also pain from the death of Bessie. I mean, this woman meant so much to her. And I think it's interesting that she chose to go back to New York because that's where she was from, basically. So she went back home. And I think she was looking for friends. I think that was very honest, that first part of the film of her just sort of going around the city and trying to, see where she used to live or see where I used to do this or something. And it meant a lot to her, I think, to be back in New York. But I think it was pain and loneliness that set the film off, really.
And also, I love the fact that it kind of reminds us about the connections that we have, not only with home, because I think the part with her friend, with Bessie, it talks a lot about where she comes from and how she
Yes.
has dealt with that. But also, the Eleanor has to face that same thing, but just alone as kind of her friend did. So tell me a little bit about that part, because I think that's also one of the things I love of this film.
Well, I think Eleanor is spent, all the time listening to Bessie, and the Holocaust stories became hers in a way. And I think this is why it was so easy for her. Not easy, but she was willing to go with it. This was presented to her to tell the story, so she took it and did. And I think that every time she tells the story or told it, that it brought her closer to Bessie. It brought Bessie back to her. And that's what she needed. That's what she wanted.
Totally. And June, for my last question, I would like to ask you, there's this big rumor and big noise about there are no roles for women which pass certain age and everything, but you've kind of the living proof that you've made
Yeah.
white films that they're not also very interesting in their characters, but also richful. You did Thelma, you did this, Eleanor the Great. So tell me a little bit about that because I think it's always about the characters and the story, not about the age.
Well, I think that's true. I keep saying, people ask me about it, and I say, I have no idea why all at once there were two films with a 90-year-old leading lady. I have no idea why this happened. But thank God it did, and I love making both of them were such a unique shoot, both of them were. And both were first-time directors. And the Thelma, he had also written the script. So it was exciting. I don't know. Maybe because it was a 90-year-old leading lady. That might have been part of it.
That's great. Well, June, I just want to thank you for this conversation. Also, congratulate you on your great role on this film, and hope we
Thank
can see
you.
more roles of you in this
Uh,
cinema.
well, I think you will.
Thank you very much, and
Bye-bye.
bye.
Okay, bye.